I want to present to you an amazing speaker who is going to share why it's so important right now to make sure that homeowners are able to find contractors to help them on their projects. A lot of us have been trying to figure things out during the pandemic, making some arrangements around our homes. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Cisol Hogan of Renozy.
Thanks, Alan, for the introduction. As Alan mentioned, my name is Cisol Hogan, founding partner and CEO of Renozy. I want to talk a little bit about my background and experience, which helped to form the foundation of the company. About 6 years ago, my wife and I were fortunate enough to purchase our very first rental property. The realtor we were working with at the time did a great job winning us the deal. We were all giving each other high fives. It was an exciting experience for us. The next step in our journey was to renovate the property as quickly as possible and then find a tenant to rent it out. We knew that the longer the property had sat vacant, we would be losing money on our investment. So time was of the essence, and we needed to hire a contractor fast. Well, things didn't go quite as planned, and this is where our troubles began. Finding a reliable, budget-friendly, and immediately available contractor was extremely difficult. I remember at the time I would go to Facebook seeking referrals. I would reach out to family and friends asking, hey, who do you know? I would use Craigslist or one of those lead provider platforms out there. And I noticed that they all seem to have the same issues of either having to go through a middleman, such as a customer service rep or home advisor, limitations on how many quotes I can receive, no easy way of obtaining quotes virtually without the contractors having to come out to the property first, and no easy way of even comparing the bids and negotiating the prices that I did receive. So there was no mechanism in place for this. And I will waste hours upon hours a week having to schedule multiple contractors to come out to the property just so that they can walk me through their quote. For me, I like to obtain at least 3 to 5 bids before I hire a contractor, because it's really the only way to know if I'm receiving fair pricing or not. So that's 3 to 5 different contractors that would have to come out to the property, and I'm only going to hire one of them, so it was a waste of my time, a waste of their time, and the lead provider platforms out there really didn't address this issue. Fast forward, as I began to purchase more and more rental properties, I was learning a lot of lessons and getting more educated. And one of the things that I learned was that it wasn't just contractor services that I needed access to around property renovation, but I needed access to a whole range of services, such as being able to connect with lenders that would finance my renovation, being able to connect with insurance companies that would insure my renovation, just in case something went wrong, and something always tends to go wrong. Being able to connect with property managers that would find the tenants after the renovation had been completed, and a whole range of other services. During this time, I had become a member of various real estate investment groups here in the greater Cincinnati area, and it provided me the opportunity of obtaining feedback from homeowners and investment property owners. And I learned that there were dozens of folks just like myself experiencing these same issues. And it not only validated my own experience, but it helped me to validate the experiences of others. Now let's put ourselves in the shoes of a contractor for a moment. The contractors we were out speaking with felt the same regarding their line of work, that there was no centralized platform of services that they can go to around property renovation. So not only being able to bid on jobs and win jobs, but a place that they can go to access contractor insurance, a place that they can go to connect with local suppliers for available and discounted parts, a place that they can go to hire subcontractors so that they can take on larger renovation projects. And so after analyzing all this, I now knew what the big problem was. The consumer and contractor both had the same pain point. They both needed access to a centralized location of services around property renovation. So I teamed up with my co-founders with the mission of creating the nation's first true property renovation ecosystem. That ecosystem would be called Renozy, which stands for Renovate Easy. Now, we could have went in many different directions in how we were going to build out this centralized platform of services, and we really set out to understand what the consumer and contractors' needs were, and we began to differentiate which one of these services we were going to tackle first. We had sent out I think it was a survey to 1,000 participants, and from that, we had determined that we were first going to tackle the issue of homeowners being able to connect with contractors for all their renovation and repair needs. A little more than a year ago, we started the company, and since then, we've successfully bootstrapped development of both iOS and Android mobile applications, and we've quadrupled our user base throughout the greater Cincinnati area. We now have an active network of homeowners, real estate investors, property managers, and contractors. The launch for us this year was actually perfect timing. Because of COVID, a lot of people are deciding to work from home and take on large renovation and repair projects. However, they're still apprehensive about having multiple contractors come out to their property. With Renozy, they can still hire safely, and for contractors, they can still win jobs without having to put themselves at risk, without having to go to the house. There's about 16 million contractors in the US, and consumers spend roughly $475 billion yearly on home improvements and renovations. So there is a lot of activity happening in this industry, and a great need for Renozy. And it's really been exciting for us as a bootstrap company to see our progress and how many companies and people we've been able to help out so far. And here's how the platform works. It's really simple. Renozy simplifies locating, obtaining bids, and makes hiring contractors easy and affordable. No longer will you have to worry about hiring the wrong contractor and overpaying for property renovations that can leave you in a mountain of debt. This is where Renozy saves the day. Basically, the consumer, they download the app, they input a few details about the job, answer a few questions. They can upload pictures, videos, pretty much anything that describes the scope of work. Once the job is posted, contractors in the area will receive notifications that the job has been posted. They can review the scope of work. If they need additional details, they can chat one-on-one with the property owner right through the app. And within a matter of minutes, they can post a bid, and customers can receive several bids, and for contractors competing to win their business. The neat thing about Renozy is that it calculates the average bid price of all the bids submitted from contractors for that particular project, and contractors are able to see the average bid price. And this allows them to submit a more competitive bid. And what this does for consumers, it tends to keep the prices low. The benefit for contractors is that I think our approach makes us different from our competitors. That being, lead provider platforms out there, they tend to benefit only one side, which is the consumer. And we really set out to build a neutral platform for both the consumer and contractor. To give you an idea, property owners on Renozy actually receive ratings and reviews from contractors. So if you're a property owner that you may have a history of being difficult to work with, or you may have a history of not paying contractors on time once they successfully completed a project. Contractors will be able to see this and then make a determination if they want to work with you or not. So it's really a neutral platform. Another benefit for contractors is that they can import their reviews and ratings into Renosy from other platforms like Google and Yelp. And the reason we allow them to do this is that when they come over to Renosy, we don't want them to have to start all over again in building their great reputation. Another benefit is that contractors often complain about having to pay for lead fees. 9 times out of 10, these leads don't pan out. They're not good leads. And with Renosy, there are no lead or finder's fees. And at the end of the day, contractors are our business partners. We want them to be profitable, be able to have a better quality of life, and be able to take care of their families. And some of the popular projects that have been posted on Renosy have been full kitchen, bathroom remodels, full room additions, flooring installations, roofing, handyman jobs. Pretty much anything that needs to be done around the house has been posted on Renosy. The app is free for consumers, and contractors only pay a small subscription monthly. Just go to renosy.com, that's RENOZEE.com, where you can get a link to download the app, or you can go directly to Google Play or Apple Store to download the app directly from there. If you ever have any questions or simply want to provide feedback or have suggestions, we would love to hear from you. Our phone number and email is provided on the website. If you ever have a project that you want to get done around the house and you just don't know who to call, we would love to help you out. If you're a realtor, you definitely need to have this app on your phone to share out to your customer base. We know as realtors, you always get this question, hey, who do you know that may be a carpenter or a plumber? So this would be a added value to your customers. And I want to thank everyone for your support. I want to thank Paul Fisher and HTDC for providing me the opportunity of coming on here today and sharing my story. They do a lot of great things for the startup and small business community, so thank you.
Thank you, Cisol. One quick question before you leave. If you could go back in time a year and give yourself one piece of advice, what would that advice be?
That is a good question. One piece of advice. Well, the first thing, I knew that it wasn't going to be easy. And the best advice I can give, thinking back, I would say, because founders were always in the trenches, and I would say take time, schedule time for yourself, whether it's, reading a book, spend time with your family. We can sometimes get really engulfed in what we're doing because we're trying to make it work. But I find that if you take a moment to reflect, spend a little time outside of, the day-to-day grind, it's going to be beneficial and impactful to what you do in your business. So,
perfect. Thank you very much. Again, that was Cisol Hogan of Renosy.